This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with vocalist Dave WANLESS of the Canadian hard rock act SVEN GALI. If I knew absolutely nothing about SVEN GALI, how would you describe the band's music to me?
I think it's rock with a touch of modern rock. We have a lot of different inspirations in our music, and it all draws from all different types of genres. And so it's just a collaboration of a bunch of guys who appreciate music, and whatever falls out of us in the studio.
You have a brand new album that was released in Canada and on streaming on October 13th called Bombs and Battle Scars through Music and Motion Entertainment. I noticed there's no songs called Bombs and Battle Scars, so why did you choose that title for the album?
Bombs and Battle Scars is because it was like a conversation one day we had about our career and it's and like there's songs on it called One Gun and stuff like that, and we thought that when you were in the music industry for as long as we have been involved in it with everybody, there's a lot of battle scars along the way. So that's basically where it came from. Then Bombs and Battle Scars was kind of mashed together.
And this particular album is a collection of new material as well as some stuff that was tucked away in your vaults, right?
Yeah, we were the three tracks that are on there. I think two of them were recorded at London Bridge in Seattle, and that was with Kelly Gray. Yeah, we played a lot. We have a lot of music in the pipe from that session down there, and we came out with our record in Wire from that. But those tracks there are stuff that we really liked but just didn't make it. So it was nice to revisit that and bring it back to life. It was good.
Let's talk about some of the new songs. Let's talk about One Gun and kind of your inspiration in writing that particular song.
I guess it was when we originally put it together, and even today, it still feels the same. It's a song about losing faith in humanity right now. Just the whole thing, losing faith in your faith and just everything. It's just like the world seems at times it's getting a little crazy, and so that's how that song kind of came to life, popped out.
Another one of the new songs is Monster, and it was produced by CONEY HATCH's Andy Curran, as well as One Gun and your cover of Spellbound.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how Andy Curran got involved in this particular album.
We've been fans of CONEY HATCH since we were young. I remember sneaking into a club when I was 14 years old, as we all probably did. And I was at front of the stage and standing in front of Andy at that time and just going, this is so cool. I really like the band, and I thought they're a cool band. And so as the years went on, we ran into each other a couple times on the road, and the guys, we made friendships with the guys. And just out of the blue, we were thinking that this song Monster, this would be cool. This is something that Andy would like to maybe be a part of. So we just reached out to him, and he's a great guy, and he just jumped all over it. And then from there, we really enjoyed that experience. It's not often when we do that, bring people in and get really involved with them. We've done it on a couple other tracks and back in the day, but it's just like we had a common thing together, and it felt good in the studio with him. He's like one of us in there. So it was great. It was a good experience.
I feel like the late 80s, early 90s Canadian music scene that everybody seems to have this camaraderie and kind of know each other, because I talked to Lee Aaron. She mentions CONEY HATCH. I talked to Andy Curran, and he mentions other Canadian acts that I've talked to. It seems like everybody knows everybody out there in Canada.
Yeah, we run into each other all over. We have dinner together at 2 a.m. at 7-Elevens. We run into the weirdest spots, But and we just did a show this summer past with Lee Aaron and Andy Curran in Burlington. Yeah, it's funny. You it's a small, it seems like it's a small community, you know, but everybody runs into everybody on the road, and it's fun. It's a good time.
Another Canadian act, Triumph. You cover their song Spellbound from one of their last albums. You recorded this with Andy Curran as well. And I believe Gil Moore of Triumph appears in the music video, right?
Yes, that's correct. He again, we're big fans of Triumph, also back in the day, and we basically started our recording experience at Metalworks. So that's, and when we were there, I remember Sean was having problems with his bass, and Mike Levine just jumped in and said, "Here, use mine." You know, that's what kind of guys they are. They're very, very down to earth, very cool. And that's where it all started. And when we recorded Spellbound, it kind of goose pimply because we're in the studio where it was created, you know, and it was thinking back on the original video and all that stuff. And Gil's wife showed up, and we said, "You have to be in the video because this song's about you." So she's at the board with him during the video.
You couldn't get Gil to play drums on the track?
He seems like he was in vacation mode when he come tripping in. So
fair enough. The album is out now in Canada and streaming, but it has an international release date on February 2nd in 2024. Little confusing. Maybe you could clear that up a little bit.
I think it's just timing. We wanted to get it out in Canada as fast as possible, just get it out. And it was, you know, I'll be totally honest with you, it was a decision. I just said, sure, whatever has to happen. I really don't know the background of it, but it worked out because we have a new video for the release with it, and it's a video for a song, Coming Home. So it kind of worked out that we shot the video, and then, you know, February 2nd, we had time to put it all together and finish it.
Tell me a little bit about the song Coming Home.
Coming Home is just that. It's just about a bunch of guys traveling around and you know, making their way across the country, then making their way home. So it's pretty simple. Not, you know, nothing deep.
The latest album comes out on CD as well, limited edition army green vinyl. You got signed CDs through your web store and LPs as well. Is this your first time, SVEN GALI's first time appearing on vinyl?
We appeared on vinyl in Europe, in England. We have a vinyl from back then. It was a live show. That's our first LP. Like we saw, you know, first time was SVEN GALI, and it was kind of neat to see it because it's like I got flashbacks, and I get sick of about all the records that my parents threw away back in the day, and or let go or donated. It was just like tons, and I'm like, oh my god, just to have them back, you know.
And now you got that cool looking marbly green vinyl for this release.
Yes, yeah. So we're trying to switch it up. The guys are having fun creatively with it.
Do you guys have any plans to tour in support of Bombs and Battle Scars?
This year, after, like, you know, the record was done, we wanted to see, okay, let's get back on the stage and feel it out. So we did 3 shows just to see, you know, what we have to improve on, or, you know, technically, and you know, with all equipment wise and stuff like that. So we went out, we did those shows, and it felt good. And it was, I guess that was the big test. Does everybody still feel good? Because we don't want to go out and, you know, we want to go out and just be a good band first. And with all the other time constraints we all have with all businesses and stuff, everything that we do, it poses a challenge at times. But we're going to commit to next year getting out there and getting across Canada somehow, some way. So we're looking forward to it. We get a lot of requests for people, and we appreciate that, asking us to come to town. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. It'll be fun.
Going back to the vinyl, you also released recently on Record Store Day in Canada, your 1992 self-titled debut on a purple marble, and from what I understand, it did very well in sales.
Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I had as a kid, I remember getting a Kiss. My parents. I remember the day. It was lunchtime. I'm sitting at having lunch, and my mother and dad came over, and they gave me Kiss Alive, right there, and I'm going, wow. So I couldn't wait to put that on. So since that day, I had this vision of me going to the music store and buying my own record. And so I called the day of record day. I called 4 record stores from here to 45 minutes away. That's as far as I'm going to go. And they were all sold out. So it was cool. It felt good. I mean, I'm going, wow, we're humbled. I'm very, I got to be honest with you. But they sold out. And it just goes to show that albums touch people in their lives. And it looks like, for those people that enjoyed that first album, a lot of them got back to us and they were happy to get it. So it was good.
So you got the new album, Bombs and Battle Scars, on vinyl. You have your original self-titled debut on vinyl. Any plans to do anything with In Wire from 1995?
You know what? That's the record we jump over somehow, I like that record, and we were looking at doing maybe, I don't know how old it is right now, but we'll probably, when an anniversary comes, we'll probably do something for it. But right now we're also looking at doing some more songs and do some singles, do some 45s. So we enjoy the recording process. So we have our records, but we're going to start just pumping out just songs, just a song, and maybe a couple covers along the way. So it's cool to see your name on LPs again.
So are you sitting on some singles that you plan on releasing that aren't on this new album?
Yes, yeah. There's a couple unnamed and a couple covers that we're working on right now. Okay. So just have fun, it's just stay in the studio and just have fun. It's good.
Well, it seems like you're having fun, because there was a time where you guys just weren't around and we didn't hear anything from you for, I don't know, almost 30 years. And then here you are again. I know in 2020 you released the album 3, and here you are again with Bombs and Battle Scars. So what kind of brought you guys all back to music?
In our own way, nobody really left. Sean, our bass player, TT, he continued on with the Forgotten Rebels, and so he was playing. Andy, the guitar player, he lives in China, and so he was doing his thing over there. And for myself, I have a lot of friends in the music industry in my area, and I used to jump up with them and play or rehearse. So we never really left. We just stayed under the radar. And then one day, Dan, our drummer, Varga, he called me and said, would I like to come up to his studio and jam out? There's some players coming. So I said, yeah, let's have some fun. And then the next day I went home and I was sitting there and I thought, oh, that was good. And then I followed up with Dan and he called me. Then we called Andy in China, and then we're doing it. So then we started working on 3.
I started with you guys getting SVEN GALI back together. So now I'm going to go back to where you guys originally began before the self-titled debut. You get signed to BMG. What do you remember about kind of putting together that first self-titled album?
I remember it being like, when you're in a room and you're there, but you don't feel like you're there. Like it was just like, wow. And then sometimes it's our first record, there's a little bit of pressure. You feel some pressure along the way, but we try to remain live and feel live. And it was great support from the record company. We were surrounded by a lot of good people. We had a great time, and then when we finished that record, it took us on the Def Leppard tour across Canada. We went to Europe and had a great time over there, and we were coming back, getting ready for number 2. And I think we started feeling a lot more confident about our songwriting and live performances and stuff like that at that point. And so we were all looking forward to moving on, and then just everything changed. The grunge scene came, everything started moving around. So we started just pulling back a little bit and grinded to a little bit of a halt for a little while.
Was that the Def Leppard Hysteria tour that you were on?
Oh my God, you got me on that one.
That might have been after Hysteria.
Yeah, it was 93.
Right. Did they still have the groupies under the stage? Because I know they had that for Hysteria. So I was going to see if you were privy to that.
No, sir, not at all. No, they keep their fine wine hidden, the boys.
Absolutely. obviously tours with Def Leppard, Foreigner, April Wine. Is there any particular show with these guys that stood out to you?
The Def Leppard show, all those shows, like from city to city, it was cool because we were the opening band on the bill, but there was a lot of people there to see us, and it felt good that they came early to stay there, stand outside all night, all day, all night, and then wait for the headliner. But a lot of people came early all the way through the festivals, and it felt really good. But as far as a standout show, they were all had their own magic, if you will. When you get up in front of that many people and there's a buzz in the air and everybody wants to rock back in those days, it was just a lot of fun every night.
Do you do anything else with music outside of SVEN GALI?
Not really. I do, well, I've been asked, as I mentioned, I've been asked to do a few things, but other than hanging out with my friends and just jamming covers and stuff like that, that's about it. I've never gotten involved in any other bands or recordings. I never had the urge to tell you the truth at all. I really enjoy working with my guys who we grew up with as little kids, you know what I mean? So Andy and I have been together a long time, and Sean. So I just never felt the need to step outside.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Dave. The new SVEN GALI album, Bombs and Battle Scars, is out now in Canada and streaming through Music in Motion Entertainment, and it is out February 2nd everywhere else. Fantastic album. I enjoyed it, and I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you, sir. Hope to talk to you soon.